Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest show on the score.
I'm not sorry, okay? I'm not gonna apologize.
The Young Gun, Cottonmouth,
The Great Bambino!
Squiz,
Obviously, you're not a golfer.
and the Meatball.
Stay away from my Percocets, and do you have any Percocets, man?
The Young Guns
This is a house of learned doctors.
on Score on Air.
I'll make you famous.
Hey guys, welcome into Young Guns. It's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and you're listening to ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. I am Aaron, flying solo tonight. I'm the only Young Gun that was mentioned in that intro that we made there, but I got Eldre sitting in with me. Thank you for sitting in, Eldre.
No problem. I always wanted to do the show with you, Aaron.
Oh,
I always
well,
wanted to sit in and see a couple hours and see how we do. So this should be
right
fun.
on. Yeah, I guess we're about to find out, huh?
Young Guns. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Pete and Nick absent tonight, so yeah.
We'll hold it down for him. Blue Jackets got big things going, so we know Nick is pretty busy right now watching those Blue Jackets.
Yeah. He's got that internship going on, so hopefully he brings them some luck. And they go for their 16th in a row tonight. So, did you hear? Did you have a good New Year? First of all,
Yes. Did it like I always do it. Spend it in the house with the family. Had a little fun, laughs. Saw the ball dropped, and just happy. 2016 was a good year. So I was happy to bring that to an end and see how much we can build off that for 2017.
2016 was a great year.
It really
I think
was.
you and I are in the minority on this.
2015 was bad, but 2016 was outstanding. It really was.
Yeah, a lot of people really think it's a pop culture thing to do to hate on 2016, and
I can't. I thought about the whole year in the totality of it, and of course you have ups and downs.
Right.
But as a whole, I had a great year.
Yeah, me too. So, but hopefully 2017 will be even better.
Even better. You can build off the great things you did in 2016, and that's all you can do. Take care of the stuff you can control. The rest, just leave it in God's hands.
Yeah. Did you watch any football on New Year's Eve?
The crazy thing, and I've been hearing a lot about it, was the championship. For me personally, the way the playoff is set up does take away from the bowls. I did not watch one whole bowl game, but the two playoff games. That's the only whole games I watched the entire game. Other than that, it's just hard to watch games when it really does not mean anything. Star players sitting out, not hurt, just to get ready for drafts.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. Except I still, even though they don't mean anything, I still enjoy watching them. Although the whole ones I watched obviously the two playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the whole Rose Bowl, which was amazing.
Yes.
And I watched the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
Other than that was it.
Yeah, it's just they really made it so that just the playoff games count and the rest don't. I almost like to go back to the old days where the bowl games was played and you didn't know the champion till the next day after everybody started doing the computing and the calculating and things like that. I almost like that feeling instead of don't pay attention to none of these bowl games but these two right here. Western Michigan fought hard. They really wanted to go to that Cotton Bowl, and it just didn't have that same punch that it used to back in the day. I remember, couldn't wait to, Rose Bowl parade, then happy to watch the granddaddy of them all, and it's hard to have the granddaddy of them all, and it's not the championship game.
Yeah. I will agree with you there, and I think your point about bringing it up where you don't know who the champion is until the next day, that kind of puts almost like a Christmas Eve kind of quality to it, where you might have been watching the championship game, but you might not have, so it would lend almost an urgency to watching as many bowl games as possible.
And that's what it did. It forced you to watch the Cotton because that had championship implication. Of course, the Rose Bowl had championship implications. Sugar Bowl was a way bigger bowl because that had championship implications. Now, just a playoff game and a little bit died down for the bowls. They really took a hit.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, as Clemson, obviously,
Yes.
you just said, what was your takeaway from that? Because
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought the Buckeyes was going to play a lot harder, But what really got me really upset and had me screaming at the TV was the offensive play calling. We have a 1,200-yard back, Weber, who only touched the ball 4 times. A lot of people are complaining, well, he fumbled. Well, he fumbled after, not touching the ball for a while and losing rhythm. When you're a running back, you have to have rhythm of touching the ball.
Yeah.
Then you work, you do the pregame, and then the game starts, and you don't touch the ball to the second quarter. It's hard for you to get a rhythm. So, and I thought JT got a little bit of a bad rap also. A lot of drop balls yesterday. Saturday. There was a lot of drop balls. That wasn't his fault, and I thought he got a bad rap for that.
Yeah. I was also very disappointed. I was surprised that they didn't even get a single point. And field goal kicker, you have like one job to kick a field goal. And to me, it was humiliating. And I'm not one to turn off a game. Like, I won't. If my team's playing, I won't turn the game off.
Right.
So I watched till the very end. Kind of in shock, really.
Yeah, just to not see 31-zip. Clemson would have told you that they're not going to win 31-zip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the game was winnable. It was winnable.
It was.
It wasn't like, oh, snap, Clemson is overwhelming like Alabama, and the game should have been 31-zip. It should have been a lot closer than that. And I feel bad for JT. It seemed like so much is on his shoulders. It seemed like he had to do so much, and some of it seems a little bit crazy.
It is a bit lopsided because they do put a lot on JT, and I don't know if that's an Urban Meyer thing, if he's doing it just because it's such a young team and he wants him to lead, or what. But you definitely can't get a win without JT playing well.
Right.
He's such a key piece. So I think they're. Well, we have to hit a break because we started late, didn't we? Yeah, we got to hit a break. Sorry, but. On the other side of this break, we are going to talk. I do want to talk a little bit about, you said, offensive play calling, and they made some moves today to possibly address that situation. We'll discuss that on the other side of 4. You're listening to Young Guns on the new generation of sports talk radio, ScoreOnAir.com.
This is Bob McElligott, the radio voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you're listening to the new generation of sports talk radio, ScoreOnAir.com, The Score.
Listen to ScoreOnAir.com for your chance to win. Every Friday, we will be giving away a prize pack, and here's how you can qualify. Send us a message with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth to our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Just search any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to win. It's that easy. A new winner will be selected every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and weekly prize giveaways. ScoreOnAir.com, The Score.
In a small village in Romania, after the 8th grade, students desiring to attend high school must pay their own way for transportation. From the village of Mociu to Cluj to Apahida, it costs $350 American per year per child for the bus ride of over 1 hour each way. With your help, 8 Roma children will be able to accomplish something their parents and grandparents could not do. Most of their parents have not received an elementary education. This year, 3 boys and 5 girls can have that chance to attend high school. Will you help? Please make a donation of whatever you can to help these 8 children get their high school education. Make your donations payable to Worthington Presbyterian Church, 773 North High Street, Worthington, Ohio, 43085. And add on the memo line, bus transportation. Your donation will make a dream become a reality.
For additional information, call 614-622
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
Come out and join us at Flavor 91 for their grand opening. Flavor 91 is located at 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Flavor 91 is a burger bistro and offers such beverages as beer and wine. Again, the grand opening is September 15, 2016 at 1 p.m. 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Join us at Flavor 91.
Get the sports you want, when you want. Broadcasting all day and night. You're home for the latest sports news and updates. You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
Welcome back to Young Guns. This is ScoreOnAir.com. I am Aaron.
And I am Pistol Pete, joining you for the rest of the show tonight.
Bad traffic, huh?
Terrible. Columbus is crazy when it gets rainy like we've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Even though we see it quite often.
Water falling from the sky and everyone forgets how to live.
Yeah, and thank goodness it wasn't snow or I still wouldn't be here. So
snow is everybody just becomes paralyzed with fear.
Right. At least I'm here and ready to talk.
Yeah, heck yeah. So, all right, well, I'll just backtrack just a touch because Eldre was here, but we'll get just your opinion on it. Buckeyes, Clemson, thoughts?
I thought they really proved that I think Clemson took it a little more serious, or at least it showed that way. Their game plan, they stuck to their game plan, executed it almost to perfection other than a couple turnovers, but I think they had a great game plan, stuck to it, and to me they're a better team, obviously not 31 points better than us, I don't think. But I do think they're overall, I mean, that's an NFL-type defense. They have 6, 7, 8 guys that will be playing on Sundays for a while. So I think they were the better team, and we definitely got outplayed, and I think even outcoached as well.
Definitely outcoached, which will take us right into our next subject, which have you heard about all the coaching changes that happened today
Absolutely.
At Ohio State? What do you think about this? Ryan Day in at quarterback's coach. I'm kind of excited to see this change with Ryan Day. Actually, he's got a pretty good resume. He coached at Boston College, but he's got pro and college experience. He coached at Boston College. He also coached. His last position was with the 49ers, but he coached Sam Bradford during the Eagles when Bradford had that breakout year when he set the record, his personal record for yardage. It was 2015. So I'm just excited to see this coaching change and see what it does, because the play calling the offensive play calling has just been atrocious. I've also heard they're bringing in Kevin Wilson, but I've been on air almost constantly in one form or another. I did a show here from 3 to 5, went over to Underground from 5 to like 5:50 and was on over there. And then I came to class, and now I'm on air again. So I don't know if Kevin Wilson is actually confirmed. Last I heard, he was not confirmed.
That is correct. He's not confirmed.
He's not confirmed yet?
No, not confirmed.
Okay. I think that's also a good choice. He was, with Indiana, obviously. And I think he'll do a good job. And they also heard that they're keeping Ed Warner, but what are you going to do with him if you keep him around?
Yeah, a couple of things with that. So first, for Ed Warner, as far as his sake goes, in April the NCAA is allowing them one more assistant coach than they're allowed now. I think they're allowed like 9 or 10 now, and then so it would take them, like I said, to 10 or 11. You can get that extra coach now.
Okay, well that explains that.
Right, and that also kind of explains why they haven't officially named Kevin Wilson. I'm sorry, right? That's his
Kevin
name?
Wilson. Yeah,
Kevin
from Indiana.
Wilson. I think that's also why they haven't officially named him yet. They're kind of waiting to see what his role, what Warner's role is going to be with the Buckeyes, and what they can do with Wilson as far as adding another coach to that 10 or 11. And also to be, if you want a crazy take, this is my crazy hot take, if you will.
Sure, let's hear it.
You got a bumper for that. But I think with Jason Day. What's Day? What's
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day. My mind's still racing. I'm sorry. Just work with me here.
You're fine. You're fine. I think I called him Jason Day earlier today.
Yeah.
It's because Jason Day is awesome. But
right.
yeah.
So Ryan Day, I think there's honestly a slight possibility that Urban is at least kicking the idea around or throwing it around, just the idea of Chip Kelly coming to Ohio State, just because Ryan Day worked with him.
He worked with him too, yeah.
Right.
What was it, New Hampshire?
At New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Well, and also just this past
San
year
Francisco,
at San Francisco.
yeah.
So I think there's that small possibility Urban doesn't want to jump to anything named Wilson right away. And two, if you remember about Wilson, there's probably not a ton of people that are willing to go out and take a risk with him, because the reason he got let go of Indiana, there was speculation with players, with athletic trainers saying guys were getting hurt and he was either pushing them back too early or, asking, are you really hurt, that type of thing.
I remember that now that you say that. Yeah,
right.
When that came out. Yeah.
And so for even just him putting a kid in that kind of situation, some coaches may be scared to look that way. So I don't know. That again, that's kind of three different things that Urban has to weigh out between what he's going to do with Warner to make room for him. Wilson's past is a little iffy, but I think he can do all right as an assistant again in the Big Ten. And also, too, I mean, is he the only one you're looking at, or are the other possibilities?
I've heard, before Day was even brought up, I had heard Chip Kelly kicked around as being brought on. So that would be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about Chip Kelly personally. I think I'm not really a fan of him as a head coach, but I like him as the idea of him as a
great
coordinator.
offensive mind.
Yeah.
Great offensive mind. And I think, honestly, you look at what he's done in Oregon, you think about a running back. They had a guy, he had LeGarrette Blount 2 years. He was suspended the 1 year. But I just think of what he could do with an actual running back at Ohio State with kind of the style that he is, and then have an actual hard-nosed running back, yet a downhill runner with an offensive line. I think that would be something crazy to see, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think that one's a little far-fetched, especially being the fact that he coach, and by he I mean Chip Kelly, will get paid, I think, like over $6 million in buyouts a year to just essentially not coach from San Francisco. So you got to think there's probably going to be some openings next year in the SEC as far as like Auburn. Gus Malzahn finishing 8-5.
Yeah,
they started bad this year. If he gets off to another slow start, they're going to look to go somewhere. Texas A&M, Kevin Sullivan, or what? He hasn't been really squat since Johnny Manziel left. So he's trying to get that program rebuilt, and it's not working. And I know they're impatient down there in Texas. They're ready to win at all times at A&M. So I think there's going to be job openings for him, and like I said, he's going to get paid to not coach this next year. So it would be a far stretch, in my opinion.
Yeah. With bringing Day in, how quickly they did, I mean, it kind of, to me, shows that this is something they'd been thinking about for a while, just striking while the iron's hot. And again, Tim Beck, they didn't say really what happened, but I feel like it was something that they were planning for a while.
Yeah, and two, I know, and you brought up a good point as far as looking at this for a while, and I think Urban always kind of had in the back of the mind who he'd go after, because this kid Ryan Day was a graduate assistant under Meyer at Florida, so, and that was before he ever went to Temple or Boston College or any stops in the league. So I think Urban, like you said, had been kind of spotting that, reading into it. But I think with Beck, what honestly happened, I think Urban kind of let Herman know, hey, he's going to be available. And I really try not to fire my guys that I hired. A, it makes me look bad because I missed big time on this guy. And 2, it's just as a program, it makes some assistants kind of shy away for future jobs. I just think it was kind of, he did him a service. He helped him out. He's got a job at Texas as an offensive coordinator. That's a pretty good job. That's not a big step down.
Not
even
not really at all. No.
Right, and even as down as Texas has been lately, that's still a pretty good job for a guy like Tim Beck to take. And you think about where he's been at Nebraska now, Ohio State, and Texas. That's 3 pretty big powerhouses. And I really haven't seen either 3 or at least the first 2 stops quarterbacks develop. As far as Nebraska, Taylor Martinez, never really saw him develop from his freshman year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't wish ill will for him, but I'm sure glad to see a change, and I really look forward to see who else is involved, because I don't think it's just going to be Urban and Day. I think he's going to add that big piece yet as well.
I agree with you. We got to hit a break here. We come back, maybe talk a little Jackets, perhaps some NHL. You're listening to Young Guns on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. Are you ready for some football? The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
You didn't know? NWA Midwest Championship Wrestling is looking for interns. Have you heard of Ric Flair? Well, this is the company that brought you Ric Flair before he went to the WWE, and we're looking for interns to work behind the scenes hand in hand with production, with audio, with video, and with podcasts and radio. Contact Damon Dury, the big dog, at 740-971-3968.
Nasty's Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty's Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2827 to find out the daily specials. Nasty's. Great food, family fun, with a cool name.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, Campus Director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus. You want a job that you will love, and we have the training to get you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit BeOnAir.com. That's BeOnAir.com.
The new generation of sports talk radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
I'm Aaron Campbell with your Score Center update. Ohio State safety Malik Hooker announced yesterday on Twitter that he is declaring for the NFL draft. Hooker is a redshirt sophomore who had a breakout season in 2016 with 7 interceptions, 3 of which he returned for touchdowns, an FBS record. He also notched 74 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and was a Thorpe Award finalist. The Columbus Blue Jackets are back in action tonight after beating the Minnesota Wild on New Year's Eve. The Jackets and Cam Atkinson, who leads the team with 37 points, will face the Edmonton Oilers tonight at Nationwide Arena. Columbus is hoping to extend its franchise record 15-game winning streak to 16 games. Puck drops at 7. Fox Sports Ohio has your television coverage. In the Rose Bowl yesterday, the USC Trojans bested the Penn State Nittany Lions in a come-from-behind victory that thrust freshman USC quarterback Sam Darnold into the spotlight. Darnold threw for 453 yards and had 5 touchdowns, and his 473 total yards set a Rose Bowl record. Darnold credited his team's fortitude and comeback ability to faith in each other.
I think it was just trust. That's the key word there, is trust within the players, whether it was trusting the coaching staff, our strength staff, everyone. We just trusted each other, and I think that was the key throughout. Struggles in the beginning, and then, the way we rattled off all those wins at the end.
In other bowl action yesterday, Florida beat Iowa in the Outback Bowl 30-3. Wisconsin knocked off Western Michigan in the Cotton Bowl 24-16, and in the Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma took down Auburn 35-19. For all the latest news, scores, and updates, stay right here on ScoreOnAir.com.
Broadcasting from the Score On Air studios at the Ohio Media School in Columbus, Ohio. Your home for all the latest sports news and talk. ScoreOnAir.com. SportsTalkRadio.com. The Score.
No George Michael bumpers this week here on New Generation of Sports Talk Radio. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Pete.
So, we were touching on the Buckeyes and their coaching situation before we went to break. But there are some other Buckeye news that came out last night and today, and that is some Buckeyes leave.
Yeah,
sure
definitely.
You did.
Definitely.
Malik Hooker and Garyon Conley both declared for the draft.
I can't say I didn't see it coming, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think in the next couple of days here in Columbus, even with a, quote, rebuilding year here in Columbus, we're going to experience some more guys leaving over the next couple of days as far as, like, guys like Marshawn Lattimore, Raekwon McMillan. I think they've kind of proven themselves and done all they can do here for the university and for their stock, so can't really blame them.
I mean, especially Malik Hooker. You don't get much higher draft stock than what he produced for us this year. I mean, 7 interceptions, 3 return for a touchdown. That was an FBS leader stat. I mean, 74 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss.
Unanimous first-team All-American.
Yeah, he's predicted. Kuiper predicts he's going to go in the first round, high in the first round, which good for him. He's awesome, and I think that there's nothing he could really come back next year and do that would make him look any better. So, via con Dios, Malik, go. I hope you do well and get drafted by a good team and get yourself some good money and perhaps a Super Bowl ring. So.
Absolutely, and I wish the same for Garyon Conley, too. These guys.
Yeah, him too. Yeah,
I mean,
Malik was one of my favorite, probably my favorite Buckeye of the year. So.
Absolutely, that dude made play after and really he's a one-year player, and it's crazy. It shows you kind of the positives and negatives, I guess, of the recruiting that Urban does. When you talk about guys like Malik Hooker and even Marshawn Lattimore, more for injuries for him, but. Guy like Malik Hooker couldn't get on the field till his redshirt sophomore year here, and now he's gone because he played one tremendous season, and he's gone. He's gonna get first round money, and nobody can blame him. So that's a true testament to Urban Meyer. He had so much talent with guys like Tyvis Powell, who really went undrafted but was an exceptional college player, played a big role on their championship team, and then Von Bell, a first round pick. So. It was Malik Hooker couldn't even find a way to get on the field last year, and played 13 games as a Buckeye, and here he is, a first-round projection and probably going to be a first-round pick. He's going to put up great numbers at the combine. We've all seen him run. We've seen him jump. He's going to put up godly numbers at the combine. So I think there's really, like you said, there's nothing more for him to prove. Kind of only a setback, really.
Yeah, exactly. So. I
got a question for you. I want to bounce a couple of names off your head as far as guys leaving early as we stay local here in this for the time being.
Yeah.
I saw a guy like Sam Hubbard said he's coming back, which I think is a smart decision. Sam will definitely be playing on Sundays when he's ready. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I saw he's coming back, and even Billy Price, who was a first-team All-American, which. Hey, good for him, man. He was on a struggling line, and he helped keep it together for the most. Like Tyquan Lewis, who he didn't have the exceptional numbers this year, still had solid numbers. But really, you saw what he did last year. And again, even Raekwon McMillan, what's your take on those guys?
I think they look, but I think both those guys stay. I think they could. I think, especially Raekwon, I mean, I think he could do more to bolster his position in his draft stock with the Buckeyes personally, and I'm sure they're looking, but I don't think they end up ultimately going.
Yeah, I agree definitely with Tyquan.
I think he has a little bit. And again, he's a graduated kid. He's graduated in 4 years. He's he'll be a redshirt senior. I think, like you said, I think he can definitely improve. The thing with Raekwon, I mean, at worst, I see him being in the second round. And I agree. I think he should come back, and I think he can definitely improve his stock. I'm taking more the approach, looking at it from him. I don't think he's going to come back just because of personal reasons. Why, you know, I think he wants to get to that dream now, kind of like a Jalen Marshall type as far as, and I don't know the guy personally. I just, this is what I think is he was a highly recruited guy. Everyone coming in thought, all right, 3 years and out. He played as a true freshman a lot with Grant there in the middle linebacking position when they won the national title. So everyone kind of assumed, hey, 2 more years and this guy's out anyway. So I think he may stick to that, whether it be the right decision or not. We'll see. But like Jalen, I mean, he stuck on. Even Tyvis Powell, they both latched on, and they've gotten playing time both, and they're making a living doing their dreams. So good for those guys.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, and even if all of those guys leave, I think we still have a solid team going forward, just because of Urban's recruiting. They're a young team. We'll have JT back next year under Ryan Day. We'll see what Ryan Day can do with JT and a new offensive coordinator. So, yeah, future's bright.
Right, absolutely. And I look to see, too, with our line, especially with Price coming back. I think Elfline's probably – was Elfline gone? Was he a senior?
Yeah.
Okay, so Elfline's gone, but
He's gone.
think Price, Michael Jordan coming back, Isaiah Prince, Jamarco Jones, that's – and I think they're going to probably end up moving Price over to center. Bobby Carpenter was a source on that. He said he's talked with a few guys. They think he was probably going to slide over when Elfline moves. So that'll really sure things up. I mean, with our offensive line, I think Prince showed he got a little better there over the last stretch of the year. So, like you said, with JT, with a quarterbacks coach and an offensive line, it'll be interesting to see what they've got going for 2017.
Yeah. One more thing before we leave. The subject of the Buckeyes. Does this feel like a disappointment to you, the way that it ended?
The game was disappointing, but I don't think the year was disappointing.
That's what I mean, like overall.
No, to me the year was definitely not disappointing. When you think about losing 16 guys to the NFL draft, and still got to the college football playoff, you were a Final Four team 2 out of the 3 years. Building year, I think. You know, anytime you can put the hype videos together and that kind of thing from at a semifinal, even though we all saw the score. And we were statistically the youngest team, and by we I mean Ohio State was the youngest team in all of Division I NCAA football.
Yeah.
So for those guys to even get it together, they beat the rival. They beat that team up north. They beat Wisconsin in overtime on the road, and for someone to say that the season wasn't a success, I absolutely couldn't disagree more if so in that way.
Yeah, I will tend to agree with you. I was super disappointed on Saturday night after the game, just because of the way it happened, scoring 0 points, and you could tell that they were all dejected. But when you look at it as a whole, as a season, what they did, it's definitely not a disappointment. It did take me the perspective of the next day, like, okay, it's not so bad. Definitely not as bad as, say, being disappointed by like the World Series or something like that. But it was definitely a successful season, and they don't have anything to be ashamed of or disappointed about. They did a hell of a job this year. So for this team,
absolutely, especially when you think about, like we said, we beat Michigan, we won at Wisconsin, won at Oklahoma. There's a lot of programs that would like to be Ohio State today.
Oh, absolutely. And the Penn State game, I still think it was a fluke even after watching that Rose Bowl, but I know. So you're listening to Young Guns on Score.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Pistol Pete, and we're going to start this segment off with a Columbus Blue Jackets update. After the end of the first period, the Columbus Blue Jackets and Edmonton Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers 0, and the Columbus Blue Jackets 1 at the end of the first in the first intermission. Jackets looking to keep number 16 alive here at the end of the first.
Man, it's exciting. I've been into hockey, but I've never been like super into hockey. But this is getting me more into hockey.
I would say a streak like this can definitely get a lot of people into hockey.
Yeah.
You're talking about the NHL turns 100 years old today in 2017, and the record of 17 games has been reached one time in 100 years, and the Jackets are a game or 2 games away from tying and breaking that record.
It's so exciting. Like normally I will watch hockey, but I'll watch maybe a handful of games a year, maybe go to one Blue Jackets game. And during this streak, this has been appointment viewing for me. And this game on Saturday, which would be number 18, which would be the historic number 18 win streak, if they pull this off Thursday night, make it 17, I think I'm going to try to go to this game on Saturday night, which is like the impossible dream. But I guess they do student rush. One of the other guys at school was telling me about this. They do student rush tickets where it goes on sale at like X time on Saturday morning, 10 or 9 or something like that. And if you're a student, you can get in line and buy discounted tickets, just student tickets. But you can't buy them ahead of time. You have to be there to buy them when they go on sale. So I might, if they win Thursday night, I might mosey on down there Saturday morning, try to get some tickets for Saturday night's game, because they make it number 18 and make the history books, man. That's going to be the game to be at.
Absolutely. I want to be there when they reach that.
Yeah, and Goldie Bob was just named NHL Player of the Month today while I was on air earlier, around like 3 or 4, with he's 12-0 for the month of December with a .939 save percentage average, which is freaking incredible. Like, that's 93%, 94% if we're rounding up, save percentage. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's an astounding job, especially when you think about their first place team. They lead the NHL in points. They're getting everybody's best shots. People are trying to get goals on the goalie. Obviously, shots on goal are huge against the Jackets because people are attacking them. They know they're one of the better teams in the NHL now. They're not what they used to be in 2004, 2005, where you could just come in and roll out your third goalie and you'd be fine. People are attacking them like the number 1 team in the conference. So for them to go a whole month without losing in the National Hockey League is unbelievable, and it shows why with Sergei's block percentage at 94. They just kind of rode the coattails, and obviously I'm sure they made his job a little easier too, the way they play defense for him in front of him. Yeah, they're something else, man. Tell you what. So, do you get to watch the NFL Week 16? Well, Week 17, I guess, technically. But did you watch any NFL? Did you watch Browns Steelers? Yeah, I watched some NFL, watched the local games that were on, and then watched the Sunday night game with Packers Lions. That was a fun one to watch.
That was a really fun game to watch, yeah. The Browns, man. They're my team, and they almost had the Steelers, and yet they couldn't make it happen. And the Steelers didn't even play their starters. It was kind of sad and pathetic. And it was so sad that Jimmy Haslam wrote an apology letter to season ticket holders of the Browns, sent it out, and apologized for the disappointing 1-15 season. How sad is that?
That's super sad when you think about a team or a city and a state that loves their football. I mean, the NFL, college, it doesn't matter, high school, it doesn't matter. Everyone in this state loves their football. And for them, for Haslam to still run a program like this, it just blows my mind that, to be honest, that there are season ticket holders still that are getting this letter. Because if you didn't see this coming, you're kind of blind. Now, 1-15, that's a little harsh. But if you thought they were going to win maybe more than 3-4 games, you're kind of out of your mind. So it blows my mind that an owner has to do something like this versus and realistically, this should be about the 10th year in a row he's written these guys a letter.
Exactly.
And to me, that's just, he's just begging for people to stay because he knows that it's not going to get any better until they make drastic changes. And to be honest, I don't know. It's more than just the coaching and the players, I think the whole mentality up there is just not where it needs to be for an NFL program. So, again, I think it starts up top, but good for him trying to make amends with his fans. But that's sad. That's sad.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's long overdue, and I am not a season ticket holder. But if I was, I mean, I'm not, and I view it as almost like I guess a joke would be the best way to put it. A joke, or you can say sorry, but you only really show, I think, true remorse by changing the behavior. No matter what you're talking about, like whether it's personal or even like this, if you really are sorry, if you really feel bad enough about the way this team has performed and the way your organization is, that you have to write a letter to your team or to your ticket holders saying, change the behavior, change the way your organization is run, change the attitudes, start something, show me something, whether it's getting better players in the draft, making sensible decisions. I mean, I've been reading mock 2017 NFL draft predictions. A lot of them have them taking Myles Garrett, the defensive end, but some of them I've heard Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback from North Carolina, which would, in my opinion, would be the Brownsiest thing to do. Would be to take Trubisky.
The Brownsiest thing. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
If they take Mitch Trubisky, you're gonna have to write a lot more than an apology letter if you're Haslam. Yeah. He's gonna lose a lot more than a few season ticket holders. He's gonna lose the in-between fan. He's gonna lose the Columbus people who drive up to Cleveland all the time to see that team continue to struggle. If he takes a quarterback with that number 1 overall pick, I'm telling you, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I think you would be a little turned off by that, as well as a lot of other Browns fans, and would probably do just about the ultimate opposite reaction and could care less for an ownership who's going to continue to make obvious mistakes like that.
Yeah, this is that's why I am so scared, because this draft we have the number 1 pick, right? Great, except there's no clear-cut awesome number 1 player here, especially at the quarterback position. And normally the Browns will trade their highest pick, trade down, and fortify whatever they want to fortify. And Corey Coleman was the very first pick that they made last year, which it's not bad. He's okay. But I think they should trade this first pick down and fortify their offensive line before they even try to shove anybody behind the offensive line, because if you can't protect him, how's he going to, no matter who he is, Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, whoever, if you trade for Tony Romo and you put him behind a crappy line, he's going to be hurt. You can't play behind, I almost said a bad word, you can't play behind a crappy line. You just can't. So, and the way that the Browns are, it seems like right now, especially with this letter, they're grasping at straws. Anything. Here's an apology letter. Look, we got a quarterback. He's going to be our guy. I just feel unease about the whole draft.
Right, you said that last year with RG3, so how many times are we going to keep hearing it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like me, to be 100% honest, it's like me with Urban Meyer. We heard it last year after the Fiesta Bowl. What was his biggest comment? Next year we're going to throw the ball better.
Yeah.
What did he say after this game? Next year we're going to throw the ball better. I didn't know we threw the ball 21 out of our first 27 plays. And completed, 7 of them, I think?
Yeah.
So I don't know. When coaches say, or guys say that kind of thing, like you said, let's see it. Especially out of the Browns. Especially out of the Browns ownership.
Yeah. Just change the behavior. Okay, we got to take a break. We come back. I want to talk about another playoff team that also wears red. We will discuss
Little
that.
drama down there, huh?
Little bit. We'll discuss this on the other side of 6 minutes. Keep it locked right here on ScoreOnAir.com.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio in Columbus.
Online sports radio, WSOA ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Listen to ScoreOnAir.com for your chance to win. Every Friday, we will be giving away a prize pack, and here's how you can qualify. Send us a message with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth to our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Just search Your Score on Air, or you can call or text any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to win. It's that easy. A new winner will be selected every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and weekly prize giveaways. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
You're listening to the home of heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping sports. Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state, in the greatest state in the country.
In the greatest country in the world.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
What's good, Big Game James?
How you feeling, D.O. Jr.?
My guy, I'm super excited. High school sports is starting back, man.
Man, I'm even more excited because we got this new show starting. Tell the people what we doing, D.O. Jr.
Man, we starting the Central Ohio High School Showcase, the COHSS.
That's right. We're covering football, basketball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, and track and field. If it's in season, we own it.
Hey, you know we do this for the kids, man. You can listen live by going to ScoreOnAir.com via the TuneIn app, or watch us streaming live by going to the Score On Air YouTube channel, the COHSS, giving you nothing less, showcasing Central Ohio's best.
Are you a sports fan? Do you have a mobile phone? Great, that's all you need to stay up to date with ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio, with original talk shows starting every 2 hours, covering every sport from every angle.
From basketball
to hockey
to martial arts
to fantasy football.
We cover all Ohio sports. Just go to ScoreOnAir.com or download the TuneIn Radio app and search Score On Air. You'll be part of the action in no time. Whether you're stuck in traffic, at the grocery store, studying at the library, anywhere for that matter. Tune in anytime to get your sports fix. Follow us on social media or go to ScoreOnAir.com for even more original content, including play-by-play of local high school and college games, sports articles, and podcasts. ScoreOnAir.com is your home for the best analysis, coverage, and lukewarm sports takes. The best part, we're broadcasting live right here in Columbus.
OH.
ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio.
The Score. The new generation of sports talk radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
I'm Aaron Campbell with your Score Center update. Ohio State safety Malik Hooker announced yesterday on Twitter that he is declaring for the NFL draft. Hooker is a redshirt sophomore who had a breakout season in 2016 with 7 interceptions, 3 of which he returned for touchdowns, an FBS record. He also notched 74 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and was a Thorpe Award finalist. The Columbus Blue Jackets are back in action tonight after beating the Minnesota Wild on New Year's Eve. The Jackets and Cam Atkinson, who leads the team with 37 points, will face the Edmonton Oilers tonight at Nationwide Arena. Columbus is hoping to extend its franchise record 15-game winning streak to 16 games. Puck drops at 7. Fox Sports Ohio has your television coverage. In the Rose Bowl yesterday, the USC Trojans bested the Penn State Nittany Lions in a come-from-behind victory that thrust freshman USC quarterback Sam Darnold into the spotlight. Darnold threw for 453 yards and had 5 touchdowns, and his 473 total yards set a Rose Bowl record. Darnold credited his team's fortitude and comeback ability to faith in each other.
I think it was just trust. That's the key word there, is trust within the players, whether it was trusting the coaching staff, our strength staff, everyone. We just trusted each other, and I think that was the key throughout. Struggles in the beginning, and then, the way we rattled off all those wins at the end.
In other bowl action yesterday, Florida beat Iowa in the Outback Bowl 30-3. Wisconsin knocked off Western Michigan in the Cotton Bowl 24-16, and in the Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma took down Auburn 35-19. For all the latest news, scores, and updates, stay right here on ScoreOnAir.com.
Nasty's Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated, and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty's Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2827 to find out the daily specials. Nasties. Great food, family fun, with a cool name.
Listen to ScoreOnAir.com for your chance to win. Every Friday, we will be giving away a prize pack, and here's how you can qualify. Send us a message with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth to our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Just search Your Score on Air, or you can call or text any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to win. It's that easy. A new winner will be selected every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and weekly prize giveaways. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
You're listening to the home of the latest sports news and updates in Columbus. Streaming live on YouTube and the worldwide TuneIn Radio app. This is ScoreOnAir.com.
Welcome back into Young Guns on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. I'm Aaron.
With Pistol Pete.
All right. So, Alabama.
Sweet home, Alabama.
Yeah, indeed. Did you watch the Washington game? Obviously.
Definitely.
I thought Washington might have had a chance there for a second.
Do you remember when we were talking about it last week?
Yep.
Do you remember what I said?
Nope.
It played into exactly what I thought was going to happen. It was going to be closer than people thought, but Washington was going to find a way to lose it. And I don't mean they found a way. Alabama absolutely deserved to win that game.
Yeah.
What I mean is, with that pick six, they lost that game in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, when they were given numerous opportunities. They looked like crap, and were still in that game, and did nothing with it. Kind of like Ohio State, to be honest, to start the way they started out their game with the interception, and the numerous opportunities. So I think it kind of just showed, though, the depth that Alabama has when they can get off to a slow start like that and still be able to reel off 17 straight points.
Yeah, and the field position for Washington didn't really help them at all either. They just kept getting like really bad field position. But they
definitely competed, though.
Yeah, they hung in there.
I was happy to see them compete. First time, especially for my guy, Coach Chris Peterson. I did a little write up in soundbite on him. If you want to check out my SoundCloud, I have a ton of respect for him.
Yeah.
What he did at Boise State, and even what he's done with the chaos with Sarkisian when he was at Washington. The reports that said he was an alcoholic there. They won 3 games, I think, Sark's first year there. So for him to do what he's done in his first year, have them competing for a national championship, competing in a national semifinal against the best dynasty in college football we've probably maybe ever seen as far as in a 10-year stretch. Hats off to those guys. Great job, great effort out of Washington. Nothing to be ashamed of, and I'm sure their fans aren't. They had a heck of a season. Lost to 2 great teams, 2 of probably the hottest teams in football as far as USC and Alabama. So they have nothing to hang their hats about. I think they're going to go nowhere but up. So good for them.
Yeah. I was impressed by their just a grittiness and toughness and ability to hang in there. I really was. I expected it to be a blowout. So I was happy to see it. But you mentioned Steve Sarkisian in there. Speaking of which, in Alabama, I'm sure you've heard about Kiffin's out, and Steve Sarkisian is stepping in the offensive coordinator position at Alabama for 1 game.
For 1 game with 7 days to prepare.
Yeah.
I find the whole thing just fascinating, just interesting, kind of funny. because I'm an outsider and I don't.
Right.
I don't find it a distraction because I'm not an Alabama fan. I'm not an Alabama player. I don't know if they see it as a distraction. Some call it that. But I think it just kind of shows the relationship that those guys really had as far as Saban and Kiffin. I think
something happened.
I think they were at each other's necks the last 2 seasons, to be 100% honest. But
yeah.
When I watched the Washington game, though, and I mentioned that Washington had their chances, part of that was due, I think, to Kiffin. His play calling wasn't quite what we'd grown to know Lane Kiffin's play calling at Alabama with those weapons. I thought he kind of limited Bo Scarborough early in the game, and we're trying to get the quarterback Jalen Hurts out of the pocket and throwing on the run instead of just lining up and hammering down Washington, because Washington's defensive line is not a Clemson or their own Alabama defensive line, and even probably Ohio State. It's not that quality.
Yeah.
So I thought they kind of went away from their game, and I think I saw them standing next to each other on the sideline an awful lot, and I don't remember them always being that close together. So I think there was definitely some tension leading up to the game, obviously, and then during the game, and now obviously after, as far as letting him go 7 days before a national championship game.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to me. And then Lane Kiffin this morning on Mike and Mike said, we're trying to, something to the extent of, it was not a quote, but he definitely said we're trying to find a way that I can be in the stadium for the game and maybe in the press box. And at the time when he said it, they were like, oh, and Nick Saban hadn't responded. And then I was researching the stuff for the show, and Saban came out and said, that's not happening. There's no way that's happening. I don't even know how that's legal.
Yeah, well, he did say that. He said it's not even legal as far as coaching staff and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I like, and Kiffin also said that he brought it to Saban's attention, and I don't believe that. I for the life of me, I refuse to believe that
it brought that he brought it to Saban's attention. That it's not
that
legal.
His mind wasn't there, and that it just wasn't working out between the two. Because that's what I kept hearing, is that it just wasn't working out between the two. His head wasn't in it. It wasn't working out to mismatch the two jobs, and I think part of that's true. But I mean, you saw what Fickle did. His defense played exceptionally well as for being on the field for 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And he's headed to Cincinnati.
He's out, yeah.
I don't know if I see that that it was that big of a deal, especially being a Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, something happened, or it was that last straw that really did it. But I don't know if I believe that Lane Kiffin brought it to his attention. I think it was kind of brought to his attention, and the way it went down, or the way I see it going down, it kind of was brought to his attention, and he didn't like it and said, all right, I'm out. And that's that. He's fine. He's ready to move on anyway. So
yeah, it's just an interesting situation all around, which I guess brings us to Alabama versus Clemson. What are you seeing here? What do you think? I think I wouldn't pick against Alabama, but I really want Clemson to win. And Clemson played well against Ohio State. I don't know if they played well enough to beat Alabama. And I don't think Ohio State was playing at the top of their game either.
Yeah, Ohio State definitely wasn't playing at the top of their game, as we mentioned several times, as far as offense. Defense was on the field almost 40 minutes of the game. Can't ask much more out of them. But with all that being said, I think Clemson absolutely has a chance. When they showed it last year, they didn't think a team could put up that many points against Alabama, and they did. They put up 40 points against Alabama, and had Alabama not got that onside kick to start the second half, and had Alabama not scored on a 100-yard kickoff return, Clemson probably wins that game. So I think the factor of revenge, I think Dabo Swinney is one of the best coaches in all of college football, in all of coaching football in general. I think he's one of the better guys, one of the better teachers, one of the better recruiters. And I think he's going to have his guys ready to go. He was an Alabama guy himself. He played at Alabama, graduated from Alabama. So he's not going to want to lose to Saban 2 times in a row, obviously, and it's not going to be easy. But I think if Watson continues to play with the confidence that he has, because that was my biggest thing with the Ohio State game. That first interception he threw, he was down on himself. He was down on his teammates. He was mad that Mike Williams fell because of the turf, frustrated. When they missed the field goal, he completely forgot about it. So if he can stay positive and Alabama doesn't get to him, and that's the scariest part, just like Washington, that pick 6.
Yeah.
If they can stay away from the turnovers and Watson continues to play confident, I think they got the playmakers. They got the speed. They showed that against Ohio State. They have the speed to play with anyone. I think that defense will keep them in gear a little bit with a first-year quarterback and a first-time play caller for Alabama.
Yeah.
So if we have to predict, hold me down, predict, I'm taking Clemson probably like 31-24.
Wow.
I think they can do it. I hope they prove me right. As a fan of Ohio State and just because of my prediction, but I think it's going to be a good football game.
I think it is going to be a really good football game as well. I think Clemson can hang. I think if Deshaun Watson has a good game, I think they'll win, but I'm going to go with Alabama in the end. And I think it's going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to go 38-31 Alabama. So
either way, a competitive football game.
It's going to be a heck of a game, yeah, for sure. We have to hit a break. Keep it locked right here on ScoreOnAir.com. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the Big Ten and some bowl games. Do listen to ScoreOnAir.com.
This is Bob McElligott, the radio voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you're listening to the new generation of sports talk radio, ScoreOnAir.com, The Score.
Listen to ScoreOnAir.com for your chance to win. Every Friday, we will be giving away a prize pack, and here's how you can qualify. Send us a message with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth to our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Just search Your Score on Air, or you can call or text any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to win. It's that easy. A new winner will be selected every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and weekly prize giveaways. ScoreOnAir.com, The Score.
In a small village in Romania, after the 8th grade, students desiring to attend high school must pay their own way for transportation. From the village of Mochu to Cluj to Apahita, it costs $350 American per year per child for the bus ride of over 1 hour each way. With your help, 8 Roma children will be able to accomplish something their parents and grandparents could not do. Most of their parents have not received an elementary education. This year, 3 boys and 5 girls can have that chance to attend high school. Will you help? Please make a donation of whatever you can to help these 8 children get their high school education. Make your donations payable to Worthington Presbyterian Church, 773 North High Street, Worthington, Ohio, 43085. And add on the memo line, bus transportation. Your donation will make a dream become a reality.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, campus director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus. You want a job that you will love, and we have the training to get you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com. That's beonair.com.
Are you a sports fan looking to expand your sports memorabilia collection? Well, First and Goal has you covered better than the Ohio State Secondary. First and Goal is your #1 place to find all the sports collectibles of your dreams. We are located at Polaris Fashion Place in Columbus and the mall at Fairfield Commons of Beaver Creek. Stop on in and you'll find autographed jerseys, helmets, photographs, and much more that will make you the envy of the neighborhood. Feel free to give us a call at 614-896-1016 for our store at Polaris, or call us at 937-427-4737 in Beaver Creek. For all your sports collectibles and more, it's First and Goal.
Welcome back in to Young Guns on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. I'm Aaron.
Sidekick Pistol Pete here.
Hey, we're giving away a prize pack this evening. It is a Driven Foundation t-shirt, sunglasses, and a hat. You can get qualified to win. Just call or text 614-641-0674. We will be choosing the winner Friday night on Tyson's Punch Out. So you just call in, give us your name, phone number, email. We'll give you a call if you win. So
we're gonna dive into the Big Ten and the bowl season.
Yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay.
As far as the bowls go for the Big Ten, obviously we mentioned they didn't do so well with 3 wins I think we got.
Yeah.
The Big Ten got. I think I had a discussion with someone the other day off air. As far as the Big Ten goes, I think it's probably, when you talk about the East Division, I think it's still probably the best in football. But the Big Ten as a whole is still just not quite there. And they proved it yet again, playing against good teams. It's just hard for me to really talk about the Big Ten being the best overall, because I still think about teams like Tennessee, who, again, Nebraska was beat up.
Yeah.
But they laid it to them a little bit. When you talk about SEC Big Ten matchups, I'm saying, I still think they own it. They beat them regularly. You look at Georgia, won a pretty big game over TCU. So I don't know. It's hard for me to get on board. And then LSU hammered Louisville, made Lamar Jackson look like he shouldn't have even been in the Heisman Trophy race.
Yeah.
I really think about just kind of how and even Florida, who hammered Iowa. I did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be about a 6-3 game, and then Florida comes out and scores 30 unanswered points. So I think the Big Ten still got a little ways to go as far as the second tier teams. That top tier between Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and I think Michigan State will be back there, and that is a top tier in football. But outside of those teams, it's really a struggle. And Wisconsin's a good team, but they're not a highlighted team. People don't enjoy watching them, especially against a team like Western Michigan. So I don't know. I think we can lay off the Big Ten. Let's prove it for a couple years here. And this is a Big Ten guy speaking.
Yeah.
So let's lay off a little bit. Let's see how we do. And we need guys like Michigan State to really carry their weight, and we need Nebraska to kind of get back to what they were.
Yeah, I know it's not good radio, but I would totally agree with you. I think people during the regular college football season were kind of going overboard a little bit and saying, "Oh, the Big Ten is now the elite conference," and really, I didn't think it was true then, and I still don't think it's true now. Even though we have some, our good teams are good, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. I hope Michigan State gets back there, but we do. There are, and Nebraska was hanging in there for a while, but there's just not enough quality across the whole Big Ten, and if the Big Ten wants to be taken seriously as a conference, they need to get the rest of those teams up. The rest of those teams need to step up and help out, become better, make us be considered. That being said, did you watch the Rose Bowl?
I did, for the most part. I was at work. I saw most of the game last night on a rerun as well. And talk about entertaining. Holy cow.
That was probably my favorite college football game that I watched out of all of the games that I watched from bowl season. It was so entertaining. And USC, man, that Sam Darnold kid, he was on fire, and he's a true freshman. I mean, he broke the...
He's a redshirt freshman, but either way.
Redshirt freshman, but yeah, sorry, my bad. 473 total yards. He broke Michael Vick's record, 2006 record. 5 touchdowns. I mean, and Penn State didn't look too shabby either, even though they did, lose. I felt that, I said this early on with an Ohio bias, it seemed like, to me, the way USC played in that game was kind of almost a metaphor for their whole season. Like, they started out looking not so hot and just kind of found a groove and just burned it into the end. Like, the end just got caught white hot and just stayed hot for the rest of the game, which is kind of what they did this season. I mean, what was that? After the first 2 seasons, they were first 2 games they were talked about as a flop and a bust, and then they just finished white hot, went into the Rose Bowl and just played lights out. It was really impressive and really fun to watch. And Penn State was fun to watch too. So hopefully Penn State comes back next year, even though we didn't do so hot against them this year. I hope they're good next year, just for the sake of the Big Ten being a good conference and being viewed as a good conference.
Yeah, I think they will be back, just because I think about what a Rose Bowl win, even just a Rose Bowl appearance can do for a program, especially a program like Penn State, who's got the history. They've been there before back in the day. They just kind of need a rejuvenance. And the game showed they've been a second-half team all year. They fought back all year. They started off slow to begin this season, came back. They lost 2 out of their first 4 games in the whole regular season, and came back and have won, 10 straight, I believe, until against USC. So I think James Franklin's got them rolling, and I think that's huge for a program like Penn State and even USC, who hadn't won a Rose Bowl since I think like 2008, I believe I heard. So that's impressive for a game to really make me feel like I have someone, like I was invested and I didn't have anyone in the fight. So that was an awesome game to watch. I think personally my take from the game, though, ultimately, I firmly believe that game is going to change kind of how the committee looks at teams, and maybe even expanding it. And I don't know if I've mentioned on air before, but I'm not in favor of the expansion yet. It's not. I don't think it's where it needs to go any further than it is. Especially we talk about the D value of bowl games to begin with. Yeah. So I don't think it needs to expand, but the way those teams played and the way they entertained, the way they fought, I think ultimately it's going to change the way committees look. The committee, college football playoff committee, that is going to look at kind of who they take. And I don't know if you value, and it's tough because there's 2 sides to it. One was a conference champion, one was not, as far as their requirements. But I think they're really going to take a hard look at it, either the expansion or kind of look somewhere else again with those 2 teams playing the way they did. The viewership, I haven't seen numbers yet. I don't know if they've released numbers, but I'm sure the Rose Bowl for a Monday game, for a Monday holiday game, was probably pretty good. Obviously the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, is going to get the viewership, but 2 historic names like that, I think the playoff committee is really going to take that kind of thing into consideration. Yeah, just the your name value and ratings draw. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. No matter that, it's interesting because a lot of people think that Penn State should have been in there just being Big Ten champion, and at the time, on paper, Ohio State looked to be the better team, right? Yeah, in a 13-game schedule, I think if you're whether you're an Ohio State fan or a Michigan fan, if you look at the papers blindly, you look at the resume blindly, I don't think there's any doubt Ohio State still had the better resume when you talk about 3 top 10 wins, 2 of them being on the road. So. Yeah. But that also doesn't mean at the end of the year that Penn State wasn't a better team. Right. Come January, come 2000, you know what I mean? So for that to be an argument as well. Real quick, breaking news, breaking score update. Your Columbus Blue Jackets and Edmonton Oilers, with 7:40 to go in the second period. Oilers 1, Blue Jackets 2. Oh, yeah. Blue Jackets back in the lead with 7.5 to go in the second. We will keep you updated there.
That's lovely. That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely. Looking for win number 16 in a row today.
Yeah. So, I think there's a very real possibility that Penn State's a preseason top 5 team next year, especially with all of the people they'll be bringing back. I think it was like 18 of 22 starters.
Yeah, it's easy to say, like you said, it's easy to say now with some things in sports after they play out, but even kind of how their quarterback had them rolling even before the Big Ten. I believe they're going to have a decent recruiting class, but I think they can carry that momentum, and like you said, which that's not the be-all, say-all, but I think that's to Coach Franklin's advantage.
Yeah, and they deserve it, and they're definitely going to come back with something to prove because they obviously feel they should have been in that playoff, no doubt. We got them next season. We play them. Ohio State plays them on Saturday, October 28th.
And it should be in Columbus. Finally.
It is in Columbus.
Perfect.
So that'll be a good one to look forward to next year for sure.
There's a good chance it'll be under the lights.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yes, for sure. We need to take a break. Stick around. You're listening to Young Guns.
You're going to want to stick up. We got more predictions on the wild card. I'm interested to hear these because I haven't thought about them a ton, so this will be interesting.
All right. You're listening to Young Guns on the new generation of Sports Talk Radio, ScoreOnAir.com.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. Are you ready for some football? The new generation of Sports Talk Radio breaks down every game.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
NWA Midwest Championship Wrestling is looking for interns. Have you heard of Ric Flair? Well, this is the company that brought you Ric Flair before he went to the WWE, and we're looking for interns to work behind the scenes hand in hand with production, with audio, with video, and with podcasts and radio. Contact Damon Dury, the big dog, at 740-971-3968.
Nasty Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2826. Family fun with a cool name.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, campus director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit BeOnAir.com. That's BeOnAir.com.
The new generation of Sports Talk Radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
I'm Aaron Campbell with your Score Center update. Ohio State safety Malik Hooker announced yesterday on Twitter that he is declaring for the NFL draft. Hooker is a redshirt sophomore who had a breakout season in 2016 with 7 interceptions, 3 of which he returned for touchdowns, an FBS record. He also notched 74 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and was a Thorpe Award finalist. The Columbus Blue Jackets are back in action tonight after beating the Minnesota Wild on New Year's Eve. The Jackets and Cam Atkinson, who leads the team with 37 points, will face the Edmonton Oilers tonight at Nationwide Arena. Columbus is hoping to extend its franchise record 15-game winning streak to 16 games. Puck drops at 7. Fox Sports Trojans bested the Penn State Nittany Lions in a come-from-behind victory that thrust freshman USC quarterback Sam Darnold into the spotlight. Darnold threw for 453 yards and had 5 touchdowns, and his 473 total yards set a Rose Bowl record. Darnold credited his team's fortitude and comeback ability to faith in each other.
I think it was just trust. That's the key word there, is trust within the players, each other, and I think that was the key throughout. Struggles in the beginning, and then, the way we rattled off all those wins at the end.
In other bowl action yesterday, Florida beat Iowa in the Outback Bowl 30-3. 17, and in the Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma took down Auburn 35-19. For all the latest news, scores, and updates, stay right here on ScoreOnAir.com. Hey, it's Young Guns on ScoreOnAir.com. I'm Aaron.
Welcome back. I'm Pistol Pete. And the Score wants to make you a winner. Each week on ScoreOnAir.com is giving away a prize pack. Like us on Facebook, and every Monday we will pin a post to the top of our feed with that week's prize and contest details. Here's how to qualify. Just message us on Facebook at Your Score on Air or Twitter also at Your Score on Air with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth, or call the studio or text any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to qualify to win. A new winner will be selected every week at 7 p.m. Friday on our combat sports show, Tyson's Punch-Out. So give us a call or text to get qualified. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and the home for the weekly prize giveaways, ScoreOnAir.com.
Yeah. All right. You excited for Wild Card Weekend this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I'm always down for some football. Always down for some football. And again, I love playoff NFL because I don't have a favorite team, and I can just watch and enjoy the pure competitiveness, the play in general of football and in NFL. I can't wait for games to start.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think I'm gonna be able to watch pretty much all of these games. Looking at the times here, yeah, there's not a game that I won't be able to watch unless I end up going to that Blue Jackets game, in which case I'll miss Lions Seahawks.
And that's quite acceptable.
Yeah. So, looking at these games here, I mean, I know which one I'm most and least excited about here. Which ones are you most and least excited about?
Well, first give me yours.
Best game and worst game. So my best game.
Let's hear yours.
My best game is Giants-Packers. Because I feel that these two teams are, as of late, the most equally matched of all of the 4 games that are going to take place this weekend. The other 3, well, 2 of them I know I have clear winners that I'm picking, that I can look at it and say without a doubt I feel these teams are going to win. Giants-Packers, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure in a good way, because the other one I'm not sure of, and that's in a bad way, is Raiders-Texans. Giants-Packers, both these teams are playing hot right now. And, I mean, I watched that Lions-Packers game the other night, Sunday night, and that was a fun game to watch. And I like Aaron Rodgers right now. He's playing so well, and he just there were some passes the other night in the end zone that he just found a way to get it there. You know, he juked out of some tackles and just found a way to make it happen. So that's that's the best game in my opinion. I'm picking the Packers on that one. My worst game is Raiders, mainly because of the quarterback situation both of these teams are facing. Excuse me. Both, and even though there's going to be a winner in that game, whoever wins that game is not going to win their next game. So it's just basically like watching someone win a game to go ahead and lose a game. So that's my best/worst games for this weekend.
I like it. I think you absolutely nailed the head with the best one as far as New York Green Bay, but the one I'm actually really intrigued by the Detroit at Seattle for whatever crazy reason. I don't know why, because Matthew Stafford has led 9 fourth-quarter comebacks, or their defense is actually playing really well. I mean, I know they gave up 31 points to Aaron Rodgers, with 17 of that being in the second half, but he, as you just mentioned, he's one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league, looking to be an MVP candidate yet again. I think Detroit's got a slight shot at Seattle just because Seattle is not what we know Seattle to be.
No, they're so spotty.
So spotty, and their offensive line is even more inconsistent. So I think that front four for Detroit can do a little bit of damage. And Seattle too, they are not going to let you run the ball to a total success. But that's not what Detroit tries to do. They try to spread you out, and they try to move the ball down the field through the air with a guy like Matt Stafford. I hope it's not too cold for the Lions with Matt Stafford and his fractured finger with that glove. I hope it's not too cold. He can get a grip to keep it competitive. But I look for that to be a little more competitive than people give it credit, kind of like the Washington and Alabama game.
Yeah.
As far as, it's the big name. It's Pete Carroll. It's a shiny pick. It's a great team, and they're at home. They're and in that case, they were in SEC territory. But I think Detroit might keep it a little closer than some think. And as far as the Houston-Oakland game goes, Houston came out today. Brock Osweiler is going to start because Tom Savage is in concussion protocol. But I look at Brock Osweiler playing worse now that he got benched than he even was in the beginning. Especially with a guy like Khalil Mack coming after him all game long off the edge for Oakland, who actually has a little bit of an improved defense. So I think they're going to really dare Osweiler to beat him. So in that case, even with a third-string quarterback, you still got to go with Houston just because of that third-string quarterback with Oakland.
Yeah, and, it's such a shame about Derek Carr. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Derek Carr getting hurt. 'Cause I was really liking the Raiders as a pick to go deep.
Absolutely. He was playing an MVP caliber year.
Yeah, he was.
And I heard too he was in the modern or the Super Bowl era. Connor Cook will be the first rookie quarterback to make his first start in the playoffs.
Whoa. That's a fact right there. I like that fact.
That shows you how devastating that loss is. When you talk about a guy too, also since the merger of the AFC and the NFL, Derek Carr was the highest win. No quarterback with over 10 wins had a season-ending injury after Week 16 until he did it. So it just shows you how freak of an accident, how devastating, how hurt that franchise has to be for. Like you said, they thought this was the year they were going to make a little run. They were going to go at it, go at the Patriots. So I feel for those fans. I feel for Raider Nation. I know that's kind of crazy to say when they talk about Raiders fans, but I do.
No.
I mean, they haven't been there since 2002. They finally
exactly.
get back, and this is what they have to go through.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know it's easy to hate. A lot of people hate on the Raiders or whatever, but I like them. They're an old school team. I really liked watching them play this year. So, yeah, it's kind of depressing.
And I love their uniforms. And if you have a nice uniform, if you want me to be a fan of yours, have a pretty shiny helmet and some pretty shiny pants, and I'll be a fan. That's the main reason I was rooting for USC the other night.
They do have a really classic, clean look.
Absolutely.
So, and I agree with you about Lions Seahawks with the stuff that you were saying. I think with that one, I'm taking the Lions in that game.
Really? You're going to take it to that level?
I'm taking it to that level.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, just because, I've been impressed with what I've seen from Matt Stafford and the Lions, and not very impressed with the Seahawks. Every time I've watched the Seahawks this year, they haven't. I guess I just happen to watch them when they're on their.
Well, they have them on just about every week.
Yeah.
You're capable of watching them.
Yeah, but I don't actually happen to watch. I know people with the NFL package, so we tend to jump around.
Right.
And don't we only consistently watch the Browns.
Right.
And then after that, it's just whatever.
A good game.
Whatever
good
we
matchup.
feel like watching. And every time I've watched them this year, it's they haven't been good. So I don't know if it's just I've been watching the off games, but I like what I've seen with the Lions and Matt Stafford, so I'm going with them.
Right.
But I agree with you; it's going to be a good game.
The thing that scares me, they did. When you look back to the Patriots game they had when they beat Tom Brady in Foxborough on it was Sunday or Monday night game.
Yeah.
To do that in prime time against Belichick and Brady, And that was when Brady was getting back rolling. They were getting ready to go on this little run that they're on. So I think that was huge for Seattle. But like you said, that should be a good one. So real quick here before we go to the break, we're going to give you an NBA roundup when we get back. But first, the Blue Jackets score update 2-1, end of the second, going in the second intermission. Jackets up 2-1 still.
I like it. Go Jackets. Stay right here. We'll be back. ScoreOnAir.com.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. Are you ready for some football? The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Are you a sports fan looking to expand your sports memorabilia collection? Well, First and Goal has you covered better than the Ohio State secondary. First and Goal is your #1 place to find all the sports collectibles of your dreams. We are located at Polaris Fashion Place in Columbus and the mall at Fairfield Commons of Beaver Creek. Stop on in and you'll find autographed jerseys, helmets, photographs, and much more that will make you the envy of the neighborhood. Feel free to give us a call at 614-896-1016 for our store at Polaris, or call us at 937-427-4737 in Beaver Creek. For all your sports collectibles and more, it's First and Goal.
Listen to ScoreOnAir.com for your chance to win. Every Friday, we will be giving away a prize pack, and here's how you can qualify. Send us a message with your name, phone number, email, and date of birth to our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Just search Your Score on Air, or you can call or text any of our live shows at 614-641-0674 and tell them you want to win. It's that easy. A new winner will be selected every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your home for the new generation of sports talk radio and weekly prize giveaways. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, Campus Director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus. You want a job that you will love, and we have the training to get you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com. That's beonair.com.
Tune into the League with Taylor and Greg every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. on ScoreOnAir.com. It's your home for stupid sound effects, lukewarm sports takes, and a bunch of people talking about nothing.
Is that a thing?
I think it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. We're going to make it a thing.
We're going to make it a thing. I don't care. It's a thing now.
Only on the League, right here on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio, The Score.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
You're listening to the home of heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping sports. Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state. In the greatest state in the country.
In the greatest country in the world.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
Helps to turn the microphones on. Welcome back to Young Guns on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. I'm Aaron.
With Pistol Pete.
We are giving away a prize pack today. It is a Driven Foundation t-shirt, some sunglasses, a Mike and Mike hat, and you can wear your new outfit to City Barbecue to claim the 2 free sides that we're going to give you. All you got to do is give us a call or text and say, hey, I want to get qualified. Include your name, email, and phone number so we can contact you if you win when we draw the name from the drawing on Tyson's Punch-Out on Friday night. So, NBA. I'll be honest, the last NBA game I actually sat down and watched was the Cavs on Christmas Day. Straight through. However, I do follow the NBA. And the Warriors, first 30-game winner. I don't get to watch much Warriors games just because I watch the Cavs if I'm watching basketball, and they only played the Warriors, the once. But they're the first team in history to win at least 30 of their first 35 games. They've done that 3 seasons in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's definitely impressive.
And I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna go deep into the postseason, if not all the way. And just from judging what I saw on Christmas Day versus the Cavs, I mean, I hope the Cavs are going to be able to hang with them, because the Cavs are kind of banged up right now. And I don't know how far, LeBron can only do as much as LeBron can do, so we'll have to see. I think J.R. Smith is back in March, I believe. And then they were down the other night when Caleb was out because he got food poisoning. So he'll be back, but hopefully JR can rehab and they can come back and make a run, which I have no doubt they'll make at least, a semi-deep playoff run, because they're just that good.
Yeah, like you, with NBA, I haven't gotten around to watching as much NBA as I would like, as far as with the NFL playoffs getting ready to start, college football playoffs, bowl season. I've actually been watching some college basketball, and too, if we have a little time at the end, I want to just touch briefly on Ohio State's
Absolutely.
basketball.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
But to me, that's a testament to kind of where the NBA is at right now, and I'm kind of going off on a different track here, but I just think the NBA is so watered down as far as teams outside of Golden State, outside of Cleveland and San Antonio, if you want to throw them in there for the third team.
Sure.
Outside of them, I mean, you look at the Clippers, they've won a lot of games, but we saw what they did against the Warriors last time they played. They lost by 30-some-odd points.
Blake Griffin's out with an injury too.
Yeah, and Chris Paul's getting up there in age. They're not a contender in the West, is what I'm trying to say. San Antonio is the only team I think that's going to give the Warriors a run for any type of run for their money in the Western Conference. And I think the only team that can beat the Warriors is the Cavaliers, and I think the only team that can beat the Cavaliers is the Warriors. And I'm not against seeing a rematch for the next couple of years, because I think it's going to be a battle, especially with KD. When you talk about the Splash Bros, 4 All-Stars over there, 3 All-Stars over on Cleveland, I think it'll be a great matchup. I'm not a fan of either team, so it's good basketball to watch as an outsider. I just think for the whole NBA, it's not a great look right now. It's pretty watered down as far as what you got outside of those big 3 teams. You're looking at the New York Knicks are fighting at a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and we all know their regime. They obviously brought in all the talent, but they are on paper-wise talent. But
paper talent, but I don't know.
Exactly, and they got bigger issues with Phil Jackson calling guys out. He's in George Karl's book, opening his mouth yet again. So to me, the NBA right now is losing interest, and they're not. It shows. And then you talk about. We've talked about it on here with guys sitting out. I don't have a problem either way with that, but it's a lot of fans do, and you saw it in Memphis when LeBron sat out. You've seen it at other places as well. So I just think the NBA right now, I think they could take a real hard look in the mirror, kind of like the NFL is right now, as far as they've seen that their ratings are down. They're dropping off Thursday Night Football next year until after Thanksgiving. They're starting to take steps. You look at the MLB right now. They're taking steps in the right direction. It was the highest viewed World Series since 2008. Their money's up. This was their highest net year in the history of the league of MLB. So I think the NBA really needs to kind of take a step back, look at themselves, see what they can do for their fans, and I mean the money part. They're doing things for their players. We see these deals. Guys like Matthew Dellavedova are getting. Mike Conley's the highest paid player in the NBA. Tristan Thompson's playing for $85 million to rebound the ball. So they're doing things for their players. I just think they have a lot of things they could do for their fans. And especially when you think about their traditional powerhouses like the Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics. They're not what even the Chicago Bulls, even the Knicks that we just mentioned. They're not big money markets teams that are making it. It's the San Francisco's team. It's California's fourth team. Really the Bay Area's second team behind the Kings, as far as like championships and that kind of thing goes. So, and then the other big one's Cleveland, Ohio. So. Yeah. I just think the NBA really has some looking out to do for themselves, for the league, for their fans especially.
Yeah, I will agree with you there with the watered down part, and it's like how do you stop that? I mean, part of it is I think the advent of the super team, guys going somewhere to team up, and you see that with Cavs and Warriors, the two big ones you mentioned, especially with KD going to Golden State. If he would have stayed in Oklahoma with Westbrook, it spread the talent out a little bit. And I mean, you're right. When does it stop? But how really do you stop it? Is really the question. So,
and to kind of answer that. The NBA has stopped trades before. I mean, you look at, we mentioned him just a little bit ago, Chris Paul. They wouldn't let him go to the Lakers when he was still with the Hornets.
Yeah.
That would kind of take away from, because bottom line is it is an entertainment league.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what they're trying to do. I just think more of, I don't know, just the competitiveness or the viewers that they used to get on a nightly basis on the NBA TNT games. And I haven't seen those numbers, but I can imagine a game like a normal Wednesday night between the Raptors and the Trailblazers probably isn't as good as it was a few years ago when Aldridge was up in Portland, and Toronto was still fighting for the East against the Cavs.
Yeah.
But again, that, like you said, the $1 million question: what can they do? How can they kind of help fix this, get this baby back on track?
Yeah, it's I don't know. And I agree. Like, you're right. Who is watching a Raptors Trailblazers game other than people who live in Toronto or Portland?
Right.
Because
and that's where,
and the Raptors, I would say, are one of the better teams in the East.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where I compared it to MLB and NFL earlier. That's where even on that Thursday night where they weren't great matchups, Jacksonville in their mustard-colored jerseys versus Tampa Bay in the ketchup-colored jerseys.
Yeah,
wasn't a pretty game, but they got the people. I watched it.
Yeah, I usually watch the Thursday night game too if I'm around. When we get out of class or something, or
right.
So,
but
yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. It's an entertaining league, and ultimately they're still entertaining. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yep. Well, we got to wrap it up. This has been fun. We will be back, same bat time, same bat channel, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. You've been listening to Young Guns.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio in Columbus. Online.